jinx of hung verdict and instability in government, voters of Karnataka, it seems this time decided to make stability their priority when they gave an astounding mandate to the Congress party in the recently concluded Karnataka Assembly elections 2023. This is perhaps for the first time in 30 years that any party has received such a huge mandate from people, not just in the number of seats, 135 is what the Congress has won, but also in terms of vote share. A clear, sound decision by people of Karnataka for a stable government. On this episode of State of Play, we take a look at what these numbers mean and how the results of these elections have effectively bust a lot of myths and hype, especially around the BJP that is often spoken of as an unstoppable election machine. This even as the Congress party is yet to decide on who will be the chief minister in Karnataka. Welcome to the show. I am Anusha Ravi Sood. A lot of debates and discussions have taken place about how the BJP's vote share in this election as well. Although the party managed to win just about 66 seats, one of the seats, Jayanagar, was in the news for all the contention that took place between the BJP and the Congress, and it went down to the wire after recounting. The Election Commission of India announced that the BJP candidate in Jayanagar had won. Despite all of those things, the BJP in Karnataka, the former incumbent government, only managed to get 66 seats. Several arguments have been made about how, although the party has lost seats, its vote share is intact in Karnataka. This could be partially true because in mere numbers, in sheer numbers, the vote share of the BJP seems like it is intact. However, a very close look at region-wise and constituency-wise vote share tells you that the BJP has lost its vote share even in its core bastion or communal bastions of coastal Karnataka. Districts like Kodagu, where the Congress pretty much has created a record, wresting away 2 seats in Kodagu, the only 2 assembly seats in Kodagu from the BJP, the Congress winning 2 seats in Kodagu. So as far as vote share goes, Bangalore and parts of coastal Karnataka have been the saving grace for the BJP, which lost its vote share even in these bastions but managed to mop up vote shares in Old Mysuru region, where it is now hoping to play the long game. If eventually the leaders of the BJP sit down to assess what went wrong for them in this particular election, despite being the incumbent government, despite changing chief ministers midway, despite Prime Minister Narendra Modi becoming the face of the campaign, what really went wrong, it would do well for the BJP to go back to 2021 when they asked B.S. Yediyurappa to step aside from the chief minister's post and decided to replace him with Basavaraj Bommai. On 26 July 2021, a teary-eyed B.S. Yediyurappa publicly announced on the second anniversary of his government that he was resigning from the chief minister's post. That perhaps was the day that the BJP bought into its own idea of a positive prejudice. From then on, everything or every decision that the BJP has taken has been one misstep after another, eventually leading to a poll debacle in 2023 Karnataka Assembly elections. Will the results of 2023 have an impact on Lok Sabha elections 2024? Only time will tell, but as of now, columnists, people also, parties as well, do believe that they should not take 2023 Assembly election results for granted and as an indicator to where 2024 is headed. But before the BJP starts strategizing for 2024, here are a few of the things they may want to keep in mind as far as positive prejudice goes. So what is this positive prejudice I talk about? This a set of myths and hypes that have been created around the BJP by the party and propelled by mainstream media of BJP being this untouchable, unstoppable election winning machine, that anything that the BJP touches is gold, that Prime Minister Narendra Modi alone can win elections for the party, that local leaders no longer matter as far as voters are concerned and they will only vote for party symbol and the party's name. So what is this positive prejudice I talk about? A set of myths and hypes that are far exaggerated from realities, especially around the BJP and its election winning prowess and its primary leader or the face of the party, Prime Minister Narendra Modi. the results of Karnataka election, the resounding victory of the Congress party has broken several of these myths and hypes. Whether it was engineering defections and pulling down the JDS Congress coalition government in 2019, or eventually replacing its own Chief Minister B.S. Yediyurappa, a popular face, with Basavaraj Bommai just 2 years after he became Chief Minister. Whether it was their candidate selection process, which threw to wind all caution, which did not take into consideration the impact that the party may face if local leaders are sidelined, to insisting that the BJP's election process or candidate selection process is going to change the way politics works in Karnataka. The BJP in Karnataka has worked with a level of overconfidence that was fueled by this positive prejudice that perhaps clouded their leadership's judgment. Here are some of the myths and hypes that voters of Karnataka, with their resounding mandate to the Congress party, have broken, that have been built around the BJP. The first and foremost, Prime Minister Narendra Modi alone is enough to win elections for the BJP. Modi magic simply failed to deliver for BJP in Karnataka. The party made Prime Minister Narendra Modi the face of its campaign, especially after its more popular local leader here in Karnataka, B.S. Yediyurappa, was not just asked to resign from the Chief Minister's post, but practically till the run-up to the election was put in cold storage. The party, which thought that it could pull off an election campaign just on Prime Minister Narendra Modi's appeal and ask voters to choose BJP, the party, and Lotus, the symbol, with Narendra Modi's face as their primary motivator, simply sidelined all regional leaders. The last few days that Prime Minister Narendra Modi campaigned in Karnataka, he also made very passionate, emotive appeals to voters, even raked up communal issues. A huge road show for 2 days carried out by Prime Minister Narendra Modi in Bengaluru was simply not enough to overcome the anti-incumbency wave against the former BJP government here in Karnataka, shattering the image that, irrespective of ground realities, irrespective of whether the party has performed or not, and whether local leaders have roots, have support, have goodwill, have earned the goodwill of the people, Modi is enough to win elections for the BJP. That myth was shattered in Karnataka elections. Also, because while BJP made Prime Minister Narendra Modi the face of their election campaign, the Congress categorically made its campaign local. It projected two local leaders as the ones who are pushing its campaign forward. They stuck to local focused issues. Another myth and hype that road shows and rallies can swing elections. It was pretty set. South First, when it carried out its pre-poll survey in January for the first time, we put out a couple more pre-poll surveys and then an exit poll. It was very evident that Karnataka's voters had already made up their minds on which way they would go when voting day arrives. The myth around rallies and road shows changing the wind in favor of a particular party was absolutely shattered as far as Karnataka elections are concerned. There was a huge drive, there was a huge noise around, there was huge celebration around, for example, Prime Minister Narendra Modi's road shows in Bengaluru. A lot of hype, a lot of crowd, the roads were filled with flower petals. The path that Prime Minister Narendra Modi took for his road show was lined with people waving to him, smiling, cheering, blessing him even, elderly citizens, senior citizens blessing him even. It made for great TV optics. It made for great camera optics. The results, however, of Karnataka Assembly elections showed that what is great for television optics may not really convert into votes on polling day. The popularity of the Prime Minister is not at all the question. Like we say, he's a very popular figure. But is that popularity enough to convert the mind of a voter? To sway the mind of a voter has always been a question. And this election proved that road shows and rallies seldom make very little impact in swaying the minds of voters who have already decided which way they want to go. the big ticket communal issues will sway voters is one hype or myth that has been broken beyond belief in Karnataka this election. What else would explain the fact that the BJP has not just lost vote share in its coastal bastions, which are often referred to as the laboratory of Hindutva, which are communal hotbeds? Not only has the Saffron Party lost vote share in those bastions, but the BJP lost both seats in Kodagu, which is also considered another hotbed of communal politics, to the Congress. It was not like the BJP did not attempt communal rhetorics way ahead in Karnataka election, right from last year's debate on hijab, whether it was BJP leaders promoting economic boycott of Muslim traders, whether it is asking for a ban on azan or halal food, or closer to the election, the narrative of Uri Gowda and Nanje Gowda, to an attempt to try and polarize even old Mysuru region where the BJP was trying to make inroads. All of these efforts did not elicit the kind of response that the BJP was hoping for, even in coastal Karnataka, where psephologists often believe that polarization has reached its saturation point. The party only saw a dip in its vote share. Meanwhile, the Congress refused to take a bait as far as communal politics and rhetoric is concerned and continue to focus on issue-based campaigns until the issue of Bajrang Dal, a mention of Bajrang Dal in its manifesto. Even then, even as attempts to convert that into a communal issue was very tactfully handled by the Congress by making it a political stance and not a communal stance. In fact, several people, including leaders of the BJP, columnists, journalists, analysts on television screens, insisted that the Congress had made a blunder by not just equating the Bajrang Dal to PFI, which is now banned, an Islamic outfit, which is now banned, but also suggested that they would take action against the Bajrang Dal and ban this particular outfit. There was huge hue and cry about how this could derail the Congress's campaign, which had till then been issue focused, which had till then been livelihood concern focused. However, the Congress stood its ground, insisting that this particular decision of the party was in line with its commitment to a peaceful state of Karnataka. Even Prime Minister Narendra Modi invoking Bajrang Bali, equating Bajrang Dal to Bajrang Bali, asking people to chant Jai Bajrang Bali before going and voting, despite the BJP's official social media handle on polling day putting out a poster asking people to chant Bajrang Bali before going and voting. None of these things flew in Karnataka. While the BJP drummed up the Bajrang Dal issue to be a communal issue and hoped to consolidate its own vote base within a few pockets in Karnataka, the Congress got much more out of it. Not only did this decision help the party consolidate minority votes, but it also brought progressive thinkers. It also brought civil society groups together to support the Congress. With its stance on the Bajrang Dal, the Congress was also able to expose how Bajrang Dal continues to be a fringe outfit, as many leaders of the BJP also refer to the outfit as, and does not really enjoy the support of majority Hindus. Another myth or hype that was bust during the campaign for Karnataka Assembly election is that any personal remarks on any leader, especially Prime Minister Narendra Modi, can cost Congress an election. Now, this has been true for the Congress in the past, when its leaders passing personal comments against Prime Minister Narendra Modi has been used as an election pitch by the BJP to drum up support not just for the party but for Prime Minister Narendra Modi as an individual. In the past, it has cost the Congress, but this time around, the Congress, it seems, figured out how to counter it by not going on the defensive but going forward and being offensive. In fact, it was AICC's General Secretary Priyanka Gandhi Vadra who turned this entire debate around when Narendra Modi accused the Congress of abuse culture. She led the Congress's offensive and called out the Prime Minister in what they deemed was crying and making the entire election about himself. That was the last time Prime Minister Narendra Modi invoked abuse culture of the Congress to say that the Congress was personally targeting him. It seems in this one swift move of calling out the Prime Minister for crime, the Congress has set a template for probably other opposition parties to follow. Another myth that the Congress seems to have broken in this election is that factionalism within the party costs it election. Let's be very clear. It is true that the Congress is a divided house. There is factionalism. There are ambitious leaders who do not want to cede ground to another. There are prominent leaders who want to vie for the top job and are willing to convince the leadership that they deserve it better than others competing for the same. There is competition within the Congress party. There is rivalry among leaders. There are also groups within the Congress party. In other states like Rajasthan, this public display of groupism or factionism in the Congress party has cost the party not just its image but also probably electoral prospects. But in Karnataka, right from day one, the leadership was able to put a lid on it. Even if it was just a PR exercise or deliberate public perception building or deliberate display of camaraderie between two prominent leaders of the Congress, whether it is DK Shivkumar or Siddaramaiah, the party was keen on ensuring that it puts up a public display of unity. Whether or not that's the reality within the party, but that public display of unity helped the cadres work together, helped the party put up a show of unity and in turn receive massive support of the voters. A common compliment that comes the BJP's way is for its magnificent booth management and the way it carries out its election campaigns. Mainstream media would have you believe that nobody can manage elections better than BJP. Well, the Karnataka results seem to have bust that myth as well. The BJP, no doubt, is a wonderful election machinery that has great committed cadres who carry out, who implement strategies at the ground level, bringing the party great results as far as booth functioning and booth working is concerned. This time around, the Congress too put up stiff competition in that place. It is no longer true that only BJP's booth management is magnificent. The Congress this election has shown that the party has the ability to enthuse its cadres to work at the grassroots level and bring results. It all started when Bharat Jodo Yatra led by Rahul Gandhi passed through Karnataka. During the entire course of the Bharat Jodo Yatra, the Congress was able to activate and motivate its booth level workers. The entire momentum built during the Bharat Jodo Yatra was sustained till the end of election through a war room that was set up headed by former IAS officer Shashikant Sendil. The war room ensured that every single strategy, campaign messaging and outreach program was carried out effectively at the booth level by workers when the strategy in itself came from very professional quarters. Not just were the leaders of Karnataka Congress helping the party ensure its messaging was right, but professional help from Inclusive Minds, headed by Sunil Kanagolu, the strategist for the Congress, helped the party build an election narrative that far outdid the BJP's own election campaign in Karnataka this election. The myth that BJP is the narrative setter and all other parties respond to the narrative was bust months ago with the Congress focusing on corruption as their initial narrative building issue. From 40% Commission Sarkara to Pay CM campaigns and eventually in the run-up to the election, their 5 guarantees, etc. helped the Congress build the narrative, set up a stage for the BJP to react and ensure its messaging was right. But one myth that was very effectively bust, the myth of all myths, the hype of all hypes, the one big hype. Irrespective of the results, the BJP will anyway form the government. A few months ago, if you had asked any worker of the BJP, they would very confidently tell you in Karnataka that even if we win 80 seats, 90 seats, we will still form the government. And that confidence is one of the reasons why there is a positive prejudice in favor of the BJP. Because of this thought process, because of this confidence that the party puts out, it had trickled down to voters as well. Several voters in Karnataka could have told you, irrespective of who we vote for, the BJP will ultimately form the government. And this thought is deep-seated in the process of what is infamously called Operation Kamala, the process in which the BJP is accused of facilitating defections from other parties, from luring MLAs or bringing MLAs from other parties on board to the BJP and leading to the collapse of other non-BJP governments eventually coming to power. That could have perhaps been the scenario had there been a hung verdict. By winning more than twice the number of seats that the BJP has won in Karnataka, the Congress has effectively put to rest all discussions of defections, of Plan B, of Operation Lotus, and put out an example perhaps for other parties, for other states, for other opposition parties, that there is a way to beat the BJP in elections. The BJP that is often seen as an unstoppable, unbeatable election machine. It seems after the results of Karnataka election, the BJP is now rethinking its strategies as far as approaching state elections are concerned. The party, it seems, is not too worried about 2024, where Prime Minister Narendra Modi perhaps will be the single most relevant factor for the party to seek votes from voters. Even as the BJP does a rethink of its approach to state politics, the Congress in Karnataka is busy picking who will be the next chief minister. While it is in that process, it would do good for the party to remember that with this mandate, Karnataka has essentially said it wants stability. It does not, just like how the voters of Karnataka do not want a hung assembly, a hung verdict, they also do not want an unstable government. Thank you so much for watching the show. Do stay tuned to South First, where we bring you all the latest updates.